What's going on, everybody? Welcome back for the 32nd episode of the Refreshing the Feed podcast. My name's Matt, his name's Jay, and we're refreshing your feed so you don't have to. John Cena, Matthew Carino's a teleporter.
Bears eat berries, not people.
Let's go! Okay, Jay, I wanted to have you on. Obviously, we talked recently. I knew about the footy culture, but just for and obviously I know about your personal and everything like that. Let the people know who are watching where they can reach you on Instagram and all about the footy culture, just for a little quick summary of you.
Yeah, what's good? So, Jay, you could reach me at Lysik-Machado on my personal, or you could see me doing all things footy at the Footy Culture on Instagram. Yeah,
That's dope. So yeah, I came into contact with the footy culture a little while ago. Before we even DM'd, right? I was like, oh, this is dope, because a lot of people start like podcasts that are just sports based and whatever, but now you guys have just upwards of 4,200 followers.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's something to notice, right? That's pretty good. I was just wondering, first, you guys obviously talk about a lot about soccer, the footy culture, obviously.
yeah.
Do you think it's positive or negative that it's just soccer and not all sports? Because I know you guys personally, even Spatty and his brother and your brother too. I know you guys are like super knowledgeable, but like, what do you think?
If it's just soccer, I don't think it's negative, because if you spread out to all sports, it can get really broad.
Yeah.
There's not really areas where you could excel a lot. If it's just one sport, even though it's just one, there's so much room to grow. Like, for example, we don't even just have a podcast. Like, I'm making movies at like Market Lane, things like that, holding different events, holding like footy pickup sessions, things like that, and just making movies out of it, live streams, things like that. So there's, even though it's one sport, there's always a chance to excel, because there's so many areas you could work with within that sport.
Yeah. I feel like soccer is like such a good choice.
Yeah.
You know, you like, there's just so many like options and like pathways you can take. Like you were saying, like you hold like session, like futsal sessions, or even like outdoor turf sessions, whatever, with people that you're live near you and things like that, right? So there's all this like community, and soccer being like the big worldwide, or if not the biggest like worldwide sport, right? So to take away from it, it's like, would you do that with NHL? You'd be only like stranded in North America, right? You do the NFL, it's the same thing, right? So soccer really gives you that all over the world, like this big view, right?
Yeah, so it's worldwide, so there's a lot of potential, right?
Yeah.
Just wherever you go. But even just the area we're in, like Vaughan, Woodbridge, like,
you get a lot of people.
It's a soccer dominant area, realistically. A lot of Italians, a lot of Latinos. So there's a big soccer community here, and we realize that and try to tap into it.
Yeah, you guys, I feel like you guys have a lot of knowledge, not only because you watch a lot of soccer, but you guys play a lot of soccer.
Yeah.
Like we know, we've grown up like similar sides, like similar lives, right?
We probably played on the same team at one point.
No, we've done. For sure. Yeah. Your dad was my coach. Like I remember the times, bro. I remember the times. It's been like crazy, because you see how much you play it and you love it and whatever, and turning it into, I want to know what you feel like it is for you to turn that and all that passion, all that time into actual something like content, right? Like something that's actually like not tangible, but something you actually like produce.
Yeah.
Right?
Really, what drives me is just the community and the engagement around it. Like, if I post something and I see that people are commenting, people are debating in the comments, like, I love that shit. Like, it gives you such a rush, because people are talking about something you've done and you've stirred up a conversation.
Yeah.
And it just opens up so many avenues, because like I mentioned before off camera, like, I'm a marketing graduate. I did marketing university. I hold a lot of hats, like, within this footy culture thing, like editing, marketing, web design, product marketing. Just, I'm able to develop so many different skills while doing something that I fucking love, you know? Soccer.
I think like a lot of people don't realize like the importance of, like you're saying, like having all those hats on, right? So there's so many different jobs that go to, like, if you look at like an actual professional production of whether it's a podcast, whether it's a YouTube channel or whatever, right? There's so many specific areas that you need to be the head of, right? Like, and when you get to a professional level, some crews, like some people like have production teams of like 10 people, 10, 15 people, right? That are behind the camera or they're post-production and things like that. So yeah, you said off camera, we mentioned that you're in charge of all of it, like you just said, pretty much everything. I want to know, like, first of all, like I said, 4,200 followers, something to be a thing about. But when you post, right, do you have that in mind, sort of like a sense of professionalism that you take with it? Because I've noticed it in the things you post, especially on like YouTube and things like, well, congratulations, like one of the videos has like 18,000 views. That's fucking something to talk about, right? Like that's great.
It's not bad.
So there's like this sense of professionalism, but the way I look at YouTube and content like that, it's professionalism with like this sort of like not kiddish vibe, but not like a sort of a mature production theme, you know, like heavy, you know what I mean? Like, do you feel like it's that kind of like vibe when you're actually posting things and getting them across?
Yeah, like I guess it's professionally, like it's well done. Like I think the content is well produced. I think it looks good, but the way we're kind of acting in it, we don't like try to act so like serious. We try to be fun with it. While making it top tier content. But obviously, the most important thing is enjoying it and having fun, and I think like we really showcase that. I feel like that's the thing too, with even like the rise of TikTok and things like that. It's just this level of like not so much mature level of like acting or dancing or whatever, like not professionalism within the actual content like being produced, but I feel like there's so much more engagement that way. In a way, like when there's like shit that's funny and people are acting kind of like immature, kiddish, not saying you guys are, but you know what I mean, like that type of like style of content gets a lot of engagement, rather than something is. I've actually watched a video recently. I don't remember if we were talking about Peter McKinnon. He goes into it, and the style of like home video style, like TikTok, how it's like it's a guy that films on their phone, right? Like that style of like recording is so popular because it makes you feel like you're actually there, right? Like you guys, when you guys are just like talking, shooting the shit about who's better, who deserves a Ballon d'Or, who deserves this, right? Like that's like that's just genuine content, right? Genuine conversation. It's just like it's you shooting the shit with the boys, but it's being recorded. Like it's authentic.
Exactly. It's not like, and especially I feel like when you get to something that's like scripted, I feel like it's just so much more like it's so forced and people notice, you know what I mean? Like when people notice that, it's kind of like difficult to especially edit and things like that.
People aren't really drawn to that. I see what you mean.
You were talking about so you guys do like everything. It's not so much just a podcast, right? Like there's YouTube videos. There's like you were saying. So do you find it like even more like I personally I held a lot of hats here too. Like, do you find it extremely difficult to have like not only this, but you're saying your web page that you guys sell, air fresheners, that you can let everybody know where they can hit that up if you want.
Sure. So actually, let me pull it out right now.
You have one? Dope.
Let me pull it out.
That's so sick.
Link in bio, everybody.
Link in bio.
I'm actually gonna gift this one to you.
Fuck.
So
the Piero one.
So we have these Footy Fresh air fresheners.
Those are dope.
It's like we actually custom draw these designs. So my boy David
that's sick.
On the podcast, incredible artist. He hand draws all of these like on the iPad on Procreate.
That's amazing.
It's just our like authentic designs and smell amazing. We have like a lot of different styles. Like there was more international styles with all the tournaments that came by this year. And a lot of people have been fucking with them.
You guys sold out of the Barella ones. And I saw on the page, right? That's crazy.
And selling out of those, I wanted to shout out the Bello Bros for that. Your last guest. So I ran into them at Market Lane after the final or semifinal.
Semifinal, probably,
And I knew they were like Juve fans and Inter fans, so like Barella, right? So I'm like, yo, you guys want these? Some fresheners? I gave them a couple of fresheners. They're like, oh yeah, that's dope for sure. And I just thought nothing of it. I get home maybe like an hour later, they're shouting it out on their story. And you know like how many followers they have, right? Like a ton on Instagram. And like they didn't just like post a picture or anything. Like
they showed it in their car.
Oh, this is Del Piero air fresher. It's called Footy Fresh. They tagged us. They tagged the Footy Culture.
It's
like
dope.
It's so dope. And within like 12 hours of them posting it, we turned a profit on our whole stock.
Holy shit, that's
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I want to shout out those guys because they're like the nicest guys.
really
amazing.
great guys. Yeah,
But
really great guys.
if anyone does want it, you could go on the thefootyculture.com. You got a lot of different styles, not just Del Piero, but like Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar. All those
That's
other
fucking
guys as
dope.
well.
That's
Yeah,
dope.
there you go, bro.
Thanks, bro.
That's for you.
Holy shit, this is awesome.
It's going right there.
This is great. Yeah, I'm gonna put it there.
Right there.
As
There
soon as
you
I open
go.
out of the pack.
Perfect.
So yeah, I wanted to talk about obviously you have some family friends on and your brother and things like that,
Yeah.
right? So growing up in a household of like that knows a lot about football, that talks a lot about football, right? Like, what do you guys think that if you guys didn't have that growing up, would you be able to do this at all? I personally, like, just from viewing perspective, I don't think you'd be able to gain as much knowledge as you have if you guys didn't do it from the beginning, right?
Yeah, it's a crazy question. I don't know how life would be. But yeah, you know my dad. Like, I've always been like a soccer fan, soccer family. Realistically, no, because you just grow into that passion as you grow up. If I just pick this up now, like, it wouldn't have that same authenticity like we talk about. Like, you know if it's fake or it's real or not. And I guess with my upbringing, like, not that I was born to do this, like, that's crazy, but like
it definitely helps, right?
Yeah,
it definitely
it makes
helps.
it more authentic. It makes it more enjoyable for sure.
I want to know, how did you like at the beginning, how did it all start, right? Like, was it just you that's had the idea, or?
No, like, cause I do it with my brother and his friends, right?
Yeah.
So my brother was like, "Oh, we might like this was last year, like May."
Yeah.
My brother's like, "Oh, we might start a podcast," and I'm like, "Yeah, you guys should do that. That'd be dope." And I kept kind of like hounding him about it, like, "Yo, when are you guys gonna start your podcast?
Yeah.
Like, when are you guys gonna do it?" And then like in like August, I get added to a group chat. I'm like,
shit.
"Yo, we're starting a footy podcast." I'm like, "Fuck, I'm all in,
That's
100%."
dope, yeah.
And like I had that editing background because I was always into like YouTube, things like that. So I always knew how to edit. Always knew how to make content. So I was ready to just jump into that. And
that's dope. And now it's the footy culture, bro.
Yeah.
Do you think that's like it's taken you to like another level of editing and like and all that with like audio handling and things like that and publishing and all that?
100%. Like a lot of the Market Lane movies, the footy session movies that I create, like a lot of people fuck with them, and I go hard on those edits. And just with time, I developed that. Like I look at new ways, because if you're pumping out videos like every single day, every single week, you want to add something different, and you want to add something that is more exciting. So I always try to find different editing tactics, things like that. And bro, it's just helped me grow. And like I mentioned before, editing skills, marketing skills, just web design skills. Realistically, as I mentioned off the camera, like it landed me a job. Bro. Like I intern at a marketing agency now called Neighbourhood, and me having this podcast experience, developing all the content, all the marketing, things like that, helped me land that position. So I mean, I'm doing something I like, and it's helping me like land a job. So it's pretty dope.
Yeah, like I feel like when you have, as much as people want to like say that they're invested in something that they, whether it's like on the side or whatever, if it's not pertaining to their career, I feel like there's just that little ounce of like effort that isn't there. You know what I mean? Like there's always just that like you can say, like let's say you have your own podcast, like theoretically, and like you're a engineering student, right? And you put all you're all into this podcast, and like you could be trying, but like there's always that little bit saying like I'm not gonna do this forever. But what I feel like when you have that, like, okay, this is like one aspect or not, like let's say you're going to be a soccer coach, right? Like just one aspect has to be like, okay, I'm going to do this in the future. I'm going to put my all, like 100% into it. I feel like that's like you're a good example of that, right? And I feel like it's translated into something good. But you were mentioning the thing at Market Lane, your movie that you put a lot of effort into. That's how you fucking guest appearance. Number one, I was in the if you haven't seen it, go on the Footy Culture at the Footy Culture. That's it, right? That's that. On Instagram, and check out the Market Lane movie. I'm actually in it. I'm the thumbnail number one, and I'm like in it later on. It was crazy. I saw you walking, right? But I didn't think you guys were gonna post like this. And it ended up getting shared to me. I saw it on your page, and I was like, holy fuck, right? Like, this is crazy.
And not even that, like it got reshared on huge Italian pages.
Comedy. Italian comedy is a big one, very big one. I even saw that. I was like, wow, kudos. Like fuck. Yeah. Well,
there you go. Just pulled it up over here. It was great.
Yeah, I'm like halfway into the videos. Me and my cousin on a Jeep.
Yeah, you were selling it, but that was dope.
Yeah,
There you go.
we were going crazy.
There
Yeah,
you
right
go.
there. Yeah,
I saw you notice
Yeah.
me too. I'm like, as soon as I saw you, I knew I was gonna put you in the video
yeah,
because, like, I like putting people in the video, so because you know you're gonna comment on it.
Yeah, exactly.
I had a feeling if it got to you, you were gonna message me about it.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
just be
I
like,
know.
yo, that's dope. And that just keeps getting reshared and
Yeah.
reshared.
yeah. It's a mindset, right? You have that mindset going into it. So you guys were there, obviously, on the streets there, and eventually probably in Market Lane, right?
Yeah.
Obviously that creates so much content for you guys.
Yeah.
But at the same time, what was the experience like for you? I'll mention it after you're done. But for me, what was the experience like for you in general? You're not Italian?
I'm not Italian.
You're not
so it's
Italian at
just
all,
like,
right? So
yeah.
what was that experience for you?
Dude, it was dope. Like, cause yeah, as you mentioned, I'm not Italian. I've always kind of gone against Italy because all my boys are Italian.
Yeah.
And like, it's just I'm Brazilian, so that's a big rival, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I just always kind of go against Italy, but because Market Lane was going on for like group stage, like
Yeah,
every
yeah.
game pretty much.
Every game,
And
yeah.
I was there the first group stage game, so
Oh,
I was
wow.
there for like a bunch of times.
Yeah, yeah.
And bro, it's just a good experience, especially post COVID. Like people
Yeah.
want to come together,
Yeah.
enjoy themselves, and it's just such a good place to do it because there's passion.
Yeah,
you know,
there's a
like,
lot. Yeah.
Obviously, we're in a big Italian community, so it's just a great place to gather. And me being not Italian, bro, like it felt nice being there.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
obviously, there was a lot of content to get there.
Yeah, exactly. That's the same thing with me, right? So I was only there for, the reason why I wasn't there for
You
what?
went twice, right?
I went twice, but
Yeah.
the second time I was there for the finals,
Yeah.
and I didn't go in. I drove by, I drove all down thing there, and then we went to St. Clair.
Yeah.
The reason why I didn't go the first group stage matches and like the first and the first two like knockout stage, it's kind of like a jinx. I was like,
Yeah.
I can't, like, I can't jinx it. I'm too nervous, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's the way me and my family think. So we didn't go the first times, but being there, the semifinals,
Yeah.
Market Lane was like, okay, this is dope. Like, this is awesome, right? Like, okay, we're enjoying ourselves, whatever. But the finals, like, when they won, was just like a complete different world of like
Crazy.
just partying, people going crazy. Like, and it's like the thing is, it's not like the Raptors when they won their championship in 2019, because there I feel like it's the general public of Toronto
Yeah.
that like somehow, some way you're gonna find those people like fighting there and drunk
Yeah.
bastards and shit and
True.
whatever, right?
Yeah.
So like you find like people that are scrapping and all this shit. There's like this sort of underlying like, okay, after this party, like I don't know any of you.
Yeah.
But like when you're there, it's sort of like this whole different like thing. It's not even like, okay, this is general population. Like this is like people like you can somehow know,
It's
right?
our community.
Yeah.
Our, because I'm Italian too. It's our
Yeah.
community. Like these
Yeah.
are, you know.
Yeah, like for us, it's crazy. And people like that are coming from the outside. Like, let's say you
Yeah.
come from like downtown Toronto, you're not Italian, you just come in there for the party.
Yeah.
Like, right? Like, it's just a
Yeah.
crazy environment.
Yeah, like some people are like, oh, like why are you celebrating group stage wins, things like
Yeah.
that. But bro, if I saw a community, bro, 10 minutes from my house, a bunch of like Brazilians celebrating, I'm
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
be there, bro. Like
Yeah, yeah.
at that point, you're just missing out because of what? Oh, it's a group stage game. Like if there's people there that are like you celebrating the same thing, like there's nothing wrong with it. Like I see nothing wrong with it, even though it's the meaningless group stage game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a dope experience.
Yeah, it's just like the people, right? And I even spoke about this with my last guest, the Bello Bros, right?
Mm-hmm.
Being someone like they're from Italy, those two guys, I Matteo and Michele, and we talked about it even off camera that like that whole experience. I met them actually down there at St. Clair in the finals.
Yeah.
That whole experience with them being like not in Italy, even though they were born there,
Yeah.
and it's almost like they're home, right? Like it's
Yeah.
almost like they're back here. And to think of that it's happening here, like obviously it's probably happening in a bunch of places all over the world
Yeah.
that have like a large Italian population, but here especially, right? Like you just think like how, like it just like kind of like it just they
The
gravitate.
stars just align.
Yeah,
you
they
know?
gravitate toward each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like all the generations just kind of like came here.
Yeah.
It just kind of like worked like clockwork, right? It's kind of weird to notice that. But do you think like as like Brazilian, right? Do you think that you've missed out in a way? Have you been to Brazil, by the way? Just a quick
Yeah,
question.
I'm
You've been
I'm half Polish as well, but yeah,
Oh,
I've been
okay.
to Brazil and Poland, yeah, a couple
there? Yeah,
times.
that's dope. Do you feel like you would? Do you feel like it takes away kind of that there isn't that like population here a little?
Yeah, as I said before, bro, a little bit, like, cause there's everyone I grew up with is Italian.
Yeah, literally
realistically.
everyone. Yeah.
Like all my friends are Italian, and I love soccer, and those two come together, bro. World Cup,
Yeah.
Euro, like a lot. So I feel like I definitely missed out because a lot of people on the podcast, like we have 2 Italians on the podcast.
Yeah.
The rest are like me, my brother, and then a couple South Americans, like
Yeah.
Ecuadorians. So when they're like, oh, like it's just a group stage win, like it's 7-4, things like that, I'm like, yo, I wish like
Yeah.
like I had my country had a population around here where we
Yeah.
could just go have fun, celebrate, talk to each other, things like that. So I definitely say
Yeah, it's
I'd
crazy.
like it.
That's crazy. So I want to know, like, your content's based around all things soccer. So I know throughout the Euros, a lot of debate, a lot of things like that. When you're in the regular season, you're playing soccer.
Yeah.
In the summer, right? Like you're
Yeah.
playing now, right?
Men's league, yeah.
So obviously it's good to keep up with that. Going into the regular season, do you have sort of like a mainstream sort of schedule that, because I know there's like the BB, well, it's not called BBVA anymore. What's it called? Santander.
Like La Liga.
La Liga,
like
right? So there's La Liga, there's Premier League, like Serie A, there's like all the
Yeah.
leagues, right? Is there sort of like a schedule you stick to, or is there sort of like a little ramble of like what's popping at the time?
Yeah, like we try to do it weekly and try to cover like the main leagues and what's popping in that league.
Yeah.
You do like a little bit of review here and there of the week's games, but basically the biggest storylines. Because the thing with soccer, things change like that.
Yeah.
Like what's relevant on the weekend isn't relevant by Tuesday.
Yeah, it's
So
true.
like that's how I've gained that skill to just pump the content out, like editing fast,
Yeah.
things like that. So yeah, I'd say we definitely focus on what's popping in the league, the biggest storyline, and yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of like, if you look at like the big sports outlets like Barstool Sports, Complex Sports, things like that.
Like Bleacher Report.
Bleacher Report's another one,
Yeah.
yeah. If you look at those, it's kind of like they got a lot. Like when you handle like every single sport, there's just so much going on all at
Exactly.
once, right? Like there's a lot coming at you,
Yeah.
and I feel like obviously you guys are passionate about soccer, but like let's say that you had a couple that are big basketball fans, whatever. I feel like there's so much more content that one guy definitely could not handle,
chance, or-
right? Like there's no
yeah.
way, right?
Yeah.
Like they have big teams that take care of like all of that. They're on all these news stories. All Giannis just
Yeah.
won that thing and whatever, right? Like they're all over the place.
Yeah.
But I want to know. So like, you guys, how long have you been doing the Footy Culture, by the way?
Since September of last year.
Of last year, right?
Yeah.
So pretty much it's all been in quarantine.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
In terms of guest wise, do you guys see yourselves like opening? I know you guys have what average like 4 on right at a time. Or?
Yeah. Usually,
4?
Sometimes all of us, like 6.
Oh,
to
wow.
be honest. But yeah, 5, 4.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So do you guys see yourselves going to like a sort of like guest style, or
Yeah.
you want to keep it to like you guys
I like the idea of getting guests because it brings that whole
dynamic, right?
dynamic of a different personality, and even just looking into posting it after, like I could never underestimate the power of an IG story reshare.
Yeah.
Because if someone hops as a guest on the pod, like they're gonna share it.
Yeah.
So a whole different population of people that don't follow you
Are gonna see it.
see that.
Yeah.
So it opens up your podcast to a whole nother group of people. So yeah, guests I think always are a good idea. I definitely want to try to get more 100%.
Yeah.
It's definitely something I'm
I feel
work
like
for
I feel like when you guys are talking about like opinion-based questions, not strictly like statistics and stuff like that. I feel like when you do opinion-based questions, I feel like you guys would benefit so much from a guest.
Yeah.
Only because like if you've already talked about it maybe once, and you have some like let's say like you guys are all, just as an example, you guys are all like Barcelona fans,
Yeah.
right? And then you have this one Juve fan that comes on and things like that. I feel like you guys would benefit like so nice from that.
Yeah.
But like eventually, what's like the goal? I feel like the goal would have like actual soccer players on,
Yeah.
right? Like professionals.
Yeah.
That would be like,
Like we've chatted in the DM with some people here and there. So
That's
maybe it could
dope.
come in the future.
oh
but
my god, that's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so
But
sick.
Obviously that'd be sick 100% because it's a professional. That's huge for the brand.
Yeah,
realistically.
that's like, I feel like that's like the ultimate thing, right? You turn it
Yeah.
into like a, not sort of like a thing, right? You know, it's not like a post-game interview where you're like, oh, you had a great game, what happened? Oh, we
Yeah.
passed the ball great. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like
Yeah.
you come on, you think, you get sort of that side of like players that you don't see on TV.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It'd be like, oh, like, what do you think of the standings where you guys are gonna go this year or something like that? Like, how do you play with Javi or something, right? And
you ask them more like, and you ask them more like intimate questions.
Yeah, personal questions.
That other like outlets aren't asking them.
Yeah.
And you could just go viral from that, realistically.
That would be crazy.
You get a whole different aspect of them.
Yeah, I want to know, like, so you guys have had a decent following now, and it's still like like we were saying before, like we mentioned a bunch of times, it's all like this whole collaborative effort with everybody. You said you had some experience. I want to know how much you value collaboration and things like that, and we've talked about stories and things, but I want to know how much you value, like we were saying, guests and stuff and shit like that.
Yeah, it's literally like collaboration is everything.
Yeah, from like a marketing perspective, actually.
Like, I never realized how important mutual feedback is. Like, for example, way back, like early in the podcast, I used to post and then throw my phone away. Like, not like literally, but like figuratively. I just post and just whatever, like people are gonna like see it. But afterwards, like I realized how much like commenting on, like, building a community, kind of talking to other people within the space that you do. So like other Toronto, Vaughan Woodbridge, podcasts, soccer pages, things like that. Bro, commenting on people's posts consistently and with like feeling, like not just an emoji or something, like meaningful comments, it's crazy how much that translates to growth. It's literally crazy. Like, I used to get maybe 4 or 5 comments, but now like every day I open up Instagram, I'm commenting on people's posts, like meaningful comments. And now I get like 30 comments, 35 comments, because if you comment something meaningful, people are going to remember it and they're going to appreciate it and they're going to do it back.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's this, like, you think there's competitors, right? Yeah, but you're in the same field, but realistically, there's room for everyone to eat, bro.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. So if you help each other grow, it's going to grow exponentially.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people focus on sort of the feedback they get rather than the one they put out, right? I feel like that's a big thing, like you were just mentioning. I do it sometimes. Like, originally when I first started, I don't know if you know, my previous podcast was called Your Sister's Favorite Podcast.
Bro. I was a big fan, bro. I watched a couple episodes. Yeah,
thank you. At that time, I was more like obsessed with the number of downloads, and I wasn't really doing anything at the time. It was only audio. It wasn't really video. So at the time, I was just like obsessed with how many downloads I have, and I was constantly posting like, oh, go listen, link in bio, go listen, whatever, right? I wasn't really like, okay, what do I got to do for other people, right? That never was really the mindset until I started this one, and I was thinking like, I've done enough for myself to put out. Now I got to start thinking about, okay, what am I going to do for other people that's going to either draw them in or start creating relationships, right? Like, it's got to be mutual, like you're saying, mutual, like friends and bonds and everything like that. That it's all important, right? I think you're very knowledgeable in that from a marketing perspective and a general social media production perspective. You guys do have a TikTok account. Yeah, I've seen it. I want to know how difficult it is for you, or rather easy it is, to sort of manage both platforms. I have the same like mindset going into it. It's kind of like Instagram's like different and TikTok's all different, but how do you like go through each platform in terms of adjusting the content?
I really try to focus on Instagram because that's where I gotten the best return. And I think you could have the best conversations on there. My brother and my other friend Chris, they do a lot of the TikTok mostly. So we just try to get like not even just the podcast stuff, like highlights, things like that, funny videos. And for TikTok, like, it's just trying to be able to blow up.
Exactly.
Because for some people it's easy to blow up on TikTok, so we just try to find that video. Like, one of our videos on TikTok randomly got like 100K views.
That's crazy.
So like, it's just like, you don't know what's gonna blow up, so you just try and keep pumping out the content and try to attach to that algorithm and see how it goes. But I definitely try to focus on Instagram because that's where I feel most people are. And I could have authentic conversations on there, and that's where the community I've helped foster is.
Exactly. I feel like there's that, like you were saying, there's like this for Instagram, there's kind of like this slow buildup of like followers, likes, comments, people viewing, all this stuff. There's like this slow buildup, right? It's not almost like instant, like TikTok. Like you're saying, you have one video that hits 100,000 likes or 100,000 views, but like Instagram, I feel like you get to where you are slowly.
Yeah.
Like if you have 1 million followers on TikTok, on Instagram, it's because you've been doing it for 3 years or whatever, right? Like I don't feel like there's no instant success on TikTok, on Instagram, right? I think that's just the biggest difference when I weigh out both platforms. But moving on, I just wanted to know, so like we know where you are now, we know how you started. I want to know, like, moving forward, the Footy Culture, what's in store like in the future?
Something I would love to do, and we've talked about it with the guys. Go to like games, bro, like Europe, like even in like the US, like friendly games in the summer. Like we went to a friendly game, Barcelona versus Napoli, 2 summers ago before COVID. Crazy experience, bro. And even to try to get like press passes, bro. Cause I feel like the brand's growing a bit. So if I apply for a press pass, might be able to get it realistically if I make.
Press passes it's super convenient for everything, and like you said, it's growing, so you'll get the music.
And it's just another level of content, like being pitch side, being able to capture that, even maybe getting like interviews after the game, things like that. I think it would take the page to another level.
I feel like, are you familiar with like the Nelk Boys?
Of course,
bro.
Nelk Boys are my favorite YouTuber for time. Like,
that sort of like style of video editing. I feel like if you guys, like, that would be so great if you guys did, like, let's say like a Manchester Derby game and you went, right? Like, and you guys did like this whole like, oh, we're going to Manchester, like whatever, and get on the plane, show like a sort of like a vlog style, but not really like a video edit,
just like a cinematic kind of experience.
I feel like that would be fucking amazing. I feel like
that kind of stuff. They get like the.
Why do you think they're so successful, bro? Those guys are so successful. Just like. Okay, number one, I don't know if you've watched, but their video editing has got so much better.
Yeah, like over the last. And those guys,
oh my god, so much better, right? Yeah. But I feel like that's something that like in the future would be fucking dope. Yeah. And you get to travel the world. You get to go see all the big name players, right? Like something you can't do here. It's not like you live in Spain, right? Like it's not like you live in Italy,
Canada, bro.
Yeah, you live here. Like who you Alfonso Davies, bro. Like who are you going to see, man? Right? Like TFC. Like after that, it's nobody, right? So. You can't even go to, like, the States has a handful of big names, but you gotta go to Europe, bro. You gotta go to South America. Like those are the big kahunas.
And I love doing that shit, like the cinematic content, like the Market Lane videos, the movies I make from the footy sessions. That's my favorite thing to do overall. Yeah, like I love making movies out of like, bro, going to Market Lane. Playing like a pickup game. Bro, people are just drawn to that, and it's just different. Yeah, it's a different feeling, you know. Like I have the same thing. I'm actually in the career, right? I'm doing the same thing. But I think that's it. But I think we're gonna wrap it up for today. I think that was great. Again, I want to thank you for having me on. Thank you, everybody. Check it out, thefootyculture.com. Footy Fresh. Del Piero, you have the Barrelos are sold out. What are the other ones? Oh, Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar, Mbappe, Totti, Ronaldinho.
Yeah, it's dope. Large selection. So if you're French, if you're Portuguese, Italian, whatever, you got it all.
Appreciate that.
Let everybody know where they can hit you up on social media one more time.
Hit us up on the Footy Culture on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Like, subscribe, and if you want to go on my personal at Lysik-Machado, it's my last name. So All
right, dope. So that's it. Thank you again, Matt. Thank you for coming again. If you're watching this, check out the description. The TikTok, Instagram, Twitter tags are all down there. If you're listening to this, check out the podcast in full video on YouTube. That's it for us. That was episode 32. Jay, thank you again. Matt, thank you again. We refreshed our feet so you didn't have to. Peace out.